Okay, in this video is a follow-up what happened to the last class. We learned how to graph the basic sine and cosine function. Today I need to do two more, which is secant and cosecant function and the phase shift. So we have amplitude, we have the period, we have the phase shift today, and we have the negative of the function. So then after sine cosine we do cosecant and secant. Okay. So now first of all, we know the first lesson we plot the point. For example, 30 degree y sine equal 1/2, 6 degrees sine equal root of 3 over 2, 9 degrees sine equal 1. Today we focus only 5 plot because we don't need to plot so many points, right? We use decimal to convince ourselves why the graph shaped like this. Now we focus only 5 points, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 only. When you do the work, you have to label 5 points, right? For example, the point right here should be pi over 2 and 1. So the point here is pi and 0. The point here is 3 pi over 2 and negative 1. Finally, you plot 2 pi and 0. So you plot 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, 4 point, 5 point. So now let's take a look at this. I present you both ways, the traditional way do this and this one my way. Okay, so now we plot the point. We don't need to plot the point. The reason is if you draw the line like this, this implies pi equal theta equal pi over 2, the value of sine equal 1. Theta equal pi, the value of y equals 0, and theta equal 3 pi over 2, the value of y is negative 1 right here. Okay, so you don't need to do much if you draw the line like this, and you just need to label it. Okay. Now the next one, we attempt to do y equal 3 of sine over 2 pi, sine of 2 pi. So I do this in blue. So now, first of all, the amplitude is 3. So I got 3 here, and the period equal 2 pi divided by 2. Whatever number here, you take the original period to divide by 2, and you get pi. Okay. So the period only pi, and this one equal 3. So then we have to do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So the period of pi means you have this point here, okay, this point halfway here, and this point here, and this point here. So we have the first one is you have this one here. Each of them you divide by 2. This one should be pi over 4. Let's take a look. Sine of pi over 4, you put pi over 4 right here. Pi over 4, 2 times pi over 4 equals pi over 2. So sine pi over 2 equal 1. So 1 times 3 equals 3. So your graph should look like this. Okay. Then you're going down to pi over 2, and you're going down here, and go all the way down here, and finally you go here. So the graph shrink in half. Okay. So now let's take a look at this. I'm a lazy person, and I want you to be lazy too. You keep the same thing, right? So instead of 1, you put 3 right here. Negative 3. Not draw to scale. And you find out if the period equal pi, right? You start from here, pi. And see this? Pi. Halfway is pi over 2, right? So you go halfway, you label pi over 2. Then half of half equals pi over 4, and you count 1 of pi over 4, 2 of pi over 4, and 3 of pi over 4. So now let's take a look. When the theta equals 3 of pi over 4, the value of sine equals negative 3, right? In here you plug here. When the theta equals 3 pi over 4, the value of is negative 3. Can you see that? Just the same, right? But this one, you this one just like this. So now the bottom line, I do one more. The bottom line is every single function, everything, you just graph first. This is the bottom line. You graph first, just every function here, all of them. You graph first. Then you label later, depend on the detail right here. Okay, let me do number 3. So now 3 pi, so here's the problem here. You have 3 sine of theta minus pi over 2. That means I multiply the amplitude by 3, which is right here, I still have, and I move the whole burden of this one to the right pi unit. So now original right here, let me erase this. Now I do the red one, okay? I do the red one. So, so now we have 3 sides. So again, the amplitude equal 3, and this one should be minus 3, right? The amplitude here also equal 3. Okay. So now you move everything to the right, pi over 2. So then you have to move this one here, going to here. So you start right here, and your amplitude, it looks like, you see, you know, it can be very difficult. Maybe you can make mistake. So you move the whole thing into pi over 3. Pi over 2, I start from here. Then the next one in here, this one here become here and go up 3. So your graph should look like this. And then this point here move to here, then it go like this point move to here, and so on and so forth, right? So this point here, you go like this, and 2 pi here, you add pi over 2 here, which is the same distance here, pi over 2 here, and this the whole graph move shift to the right, pi over 3. How about this? Look, when I deal with number 3 like this, first of all, I just grab the same graph. I use this one for everything, okay? Then I see this on 3, so I just put 3 here, minus 3 here. Now you see, original I have 0 pi over 2 and pi and 3 pi over 2 and 2 pi, right? So now as long as lazy I am, right? Instead of I move to the right, the whole thing, I move the system to the left. So I move y to the left here. So I go, this one no longer y here. Okay, this one become y. So this one gone. So 3 still there, still here, still 3 here, and all I need to do is I change every positive, I move pi over 2 right here. So 0 become pi over 2, pi over 2 become pi, and pi become 3 pi over 2, 3 pi over 2 become 2 pi, and this one should be 2 pi plus pi over 2, which is 5 pi over 2, without moving anything. You look, the point here, when y equal 2 pi, the value of psi equal negative 3, right? When value equal 2 pi, the value of psi equal negative 3 right there. You see, very much the same. But this one, you graph first, just draw it, and you recognize, you know, the amplitude, you put amplitude in here, and I recognize whatever the period here, then this is your period, it becomes 2 pi right here. But then you move, instead of you move to the right, you move the whole system to the left. So the amplitude still 2 pi, because you take this one, you subtract pi of 2, you get back in 2 pi. Okay? So now I do one more. Now I don't want to do this anymore. The reason is, when you have something like this, you need to find the x-intercept, right? Right? So you find x-intercept by, you have to solve this one into 0. And you solve for theta, theta equals 0, 2 pi over 7, 4 pi over 7. So 0, where's 2 pi over 7? Very difficult, because you have 2 pi here, you divide by 7. Very hard to plot. Very hard to plot the right plot. How about this? Let's take a look. I erase again. I go back to my original graph here. Just the same graph I use forever. Okay. So I just graph starting. I just graph first. Okay. Didn't I just graph first? Now I label it. So now the amplitude is 1.75. Put 1.75 here. Negative 1.75 here. How about period? So I don't need to do this. So let's take 2 pi divided by 7 over 2, which is 4 pi over 7. That means from here to here 4 pi over 7. So all I need to do is put 4 pi over 7 here. Halfway, 2 pi over 7. Half of that equal pi over 7. Now I count 1 of pi over 7, 2 pi over 7, and 3 of pi over 7, just done. Okay, so this is the way. If you want your life easy, just go this way. Graph first, label after. So next one, I skip this one for you to practice on your own using this one to see how it's going, okay? So label first, and put negative 10 here, negative 10 here, and the graph here go upside down, right? And you find a period, right? You put a period right here, and you move to the right 4 over 11. Okay, try to do by yourself. So now next one we do cosine. So again, I go to the basic graph first, right? The cosine here we already know when x equals 0, cosine equals 1, right? So when this one equals pi over 2, cosine equals 0, and when angle equals 3 pi over 2, cosine becomes negative 1. So you connect this, and this, and this, and finally this. Okay, so this is the graph cosine you know. Now, then you have to plot the point. You have to plot this point here, 0 and 1. You plot this point here, 3 pi over 2, then minus 1 here, this one 0 here, and this one here is 3 pi over 3, and this one 2 pi. Okay, the period of cosine also 2 pi. So now take a look at this. How I deal with this? I want to keep mine. Okay, so we're super lazy in the work. When I move to the right, the whole system to the right. See that? And I start from here, exactly same this point here, right? All I need to do is I go over this one here, one more round. So then I label is 2 pi, the halfway equal pi, and the halfway equal pi over 2, and this one becomes 0. Because now y I move to the right. Instead of I draw the cosine, and this one the same, look the same, right? With no sweat, okay? So now I don't want to do the other way anymore, okay? Let me do the second one. So 3 cosine 2 theta. So this one here, the amplitude equal 3, and the period equal 2 pi divided by whatever here equal 2, which is pi. Now my period equal pi, that means the end point here equal pi. This one should be halfway is pi over 2. This one half pi over 2 equal pi over 4. And I count 1 of pi over 4, 2 of pi over 4, and 3 of pi over 4. And I'm done when I do minus 1 here, 1 here. You need to label this, because this implies when cosine equal pi over 2, the value equal negative 1 right there. Then you draw only one line, one time, and everything here you don't need to label it. Okay, so this implies when x equals 0, value of the cosine equals 1. Okay. Next, I move the whole thing to the right pi unit, pi over 2. Okay, I need to move this on pi over 2. So in this case, you do like this. You move this one to the right pi over 2. You want to move a pi over 2, and you start from here. You go like this, and you go like this, and you go like this, and you go like this. So every point you move to the right pi over 2, pi over 2, from here pi over 2, pi over 2, pi over 2. Okay, what I do? I bring the whole system to the left. Okay, whole system to the left, pi over 2. That means this one here is pi over 2 here, because now 0 is right here. Okay, I put 1, negative 1 here. So this one still I can set here. Then I start on pi over 2. So this one should be because the cosine 2 pi, right? So that means what I do here, theta, cut it. Okay, so next one I want to go straight into this problem here. Then I go to the next problem here. So now I start with this one, the second one first. So I still have the cosine, right? Original cosine, right? But now here we have to deal with negative 1 here. So now the amplitude is the absolute of whatever number here, negative 2 still equal 2. So I still put 2 here and negative 2 here, the same thing. Amplitude always positive. However, the negative here not about the amplitude, about the flip the cosine value from positive to negative, from negative to positive. So now this time I have to write a new one. So the positive become negative, and negative become negative 2 become positive 2. So I put like this, and this one is a negative of cosine. Okay. So the negative cosine, now I erase the first one here. Okay, the first one here. Okay, so now I have the negative of cosine already there. Now next step is about the period. So take whatever number in here, I divide 2 pi by that number. So the period equal 2 pi divided by pi, which is equal 2. So from here to here equal 2. So I label the end point 2 for the whole period first. Then I go halfway equal 1. So half of 2 and half of 1 equal 1 half. So I got 1/2, 2/2, and 3/2. 3 of that 1/2 here, 3/2. Okay. So now I have almost done everything here. Now I want to move the whole thing into the right pi 1/2. So this point move to here. The final move is this point here. So the pi no I take up, move to the right pi over 2. So this point here move to here. This point here move to here, and this point here move to here, and this point here move to here, and this one move to here. So my graph become like this, like this, like this, like this. So you see, you don't have to label this because you already know when theta equal 1/2, the value of cosine equal -2. The theta equal 1, the value of cosine equal -2, equals 0. And the theta equal 3/2, the value of cosine equal 2. And when the theta equal 2, the value of cosine equals 0. And finally, I have to add 1/2 into 2, which is from here is 5/2. I only have to label 1. Besides, I have already there. So let's take a look. Let's check this one. If I put 1 into the function here, you will have 0. So let's take a look. When I put 1 right here, so I have -2 cosine pi times 1, which will be here minus pi over 2, right? Which is cosine pi over 2, which gives you 0. Cosine pi over 2 is 0. If I put 3/2 in here, the cosine have to be 2. So I put 3/2 here. So I'm going -2 cosine pi times 3/2 minus 1/2. So I'm going to have -2 cosine pi times with 3/2 minus 1/2 equal 2/2, which is 1, right? So now cosine of pi equal -1. -1 times -2 equal 2. When theta equal 2/2, the value of cosine is 2. That's done. Without a lot of work.